here they come, the Sharks. The Sharks of Cronulla. 7 times in their history they've been to the finals. They're hoping to press onward today. Had it last weekend and they let it out. And no doubt that has been talked about and thought about long and hard during the week. There is their captain Andrew Ettinghausen and Rothman's medalist Paul Green. The Knights come out. They've been to the finals once before. Led by Paul Harrigan on the first set of 6. Just inside their 20-metre line. They know they defeated Cronulla when they played at Caltex earlier this year. And then they went down in a disputed result at Marathon when Matt Rogers scored those 4 tries. McCormick it is, who unloads. Newcastle again, taking it straight up the centre on their first set of 6 with Tony Butterfield. They come back into the centre and Matthew Johns is in possession. And they're right on the halfway line as they put on their first kick of the game. And Andrew Johns waits it down into the corner where Matt Rogers takes it, but a penalty has gone to Cronulla. It's against Newcastle's chasers being offside and coming inside the 10-metre perimeter.
They weren't too happy with the decision, Newcastle men, and I think they've got every right to be a little bit disappointed. Ainscough, I thought, was just onside.
Danny Lee now lines up for what he does best. That is rucking it out. Greenhill, as Peter said, is in trouble for Cronulla. Davidson held 35 metres away from the Cronulla line, but they've both had an opportunity for a penalty goal. And both kickers have gone as close. Just grazing the outside of the uprights.
Newcastle are doing a very good job of defence. I said they had to get busy in Cronulla's end of the field, and Cronulla, unlike last week, looking a little bunched at their own end. Maybe the speed of the game is not letting them get set as quickly, but last week they made good ground out wide from their own territory, spinning the ball, not even in position to do that today, and as a result Newcastle can condense up and come at them quickly.
Greenhill has come from the field for Cronulla, and Adam Ritson has gone on in jumper 21. So Newcastle spreading it very quickly, and it's out with Adam Muir. He's able to unload, and John's under pressure. Was asked to take the pass. Matthew it is. Here's Harrigan now. Seems a little bit more comfortable on that ankle. Almost to the halfway line. The last tackle. And Andrew Johns puts it down and finds the line. 15 metres away from the Cronulla line. No score. And we've had 19 minutes of the elimination semi-final. Cronulla Sutherland now. That scrum was packed very gratuitously for Cronulla out on the 20-metre line, though the ball crossed the touchline 15 out. Here's Ritson. Young war horse in the game, and has been called into this match probably a fraction earlier than Johnny Lang would have liked. Greenhill back to the bench, wounded at the moment, as Danny Lee goes through his captain for Healy to give on for Ritson. And Ritson is held there by McCormick, and also Muir, I fancy, was involved in the tackle. Green has Nico outside him, pulls it back and goes back to the left, and then Ritson for Lee, and Lee dances away from Marquette, taken by Andrew Johns. McCormick is involved, so is Harrigan. 5 tackles gone as Healy is asked for direction. It goes back for Raper. A difficult kick, but he gets it in. Ross takes it on the bounce and heads away from the 20-metre line.
Yeah, Cronulla look uncomfortable, unlike previous weeks where they've shown a lot of confidence to spread the ball wide. That time Andrew Ettinghausen wasn't even in position once out wide to get the ball. Newcastle have come up with a mistake, but Cronulla look a little uneasy, not getting to their 5th tackle option the way they want it and not spreading the ball as much as normal.
Bateman finds Ettinghausen. Rogers comes in. Rogers inside the 30. I don't think they're going to get him. No, he's over. Matt Rogers scores again. He's proving a nemesis for Newcastle.
A tremendous speed shown by Matt Rogers, outpacing Robbie Davis. This was the mistake from Tony Herman. It gave up possession. Not particularly good defence out wide from Robbie Davis. Good pass here, gets Eddinghausen on the outside. We freeze it there. Eddinghausen's gone across. You can see both Newcastle players are committed. That opens the hole up for Rogers on the inside, and he accepts it gleefully. Robbie O'Davis had to turn and chase. Didn't have the speed. Despairing dive at the end. Matt Rogers, he loves scoring tries against the Knights.
Yes, it came from the Herman mistake, although I thought there was a hand by a Cronulla player around the ball. But Robbie Ross, he gave up fairly quickly here in his chase of Matt Rogers. In shades of his father, Steve, from last night. Matt Rogers in the open.
Leading 6-0. Try for Matt Rogers, and he converts that try. So in the elimination semi-final, the Sharks have got it at the moment, leading over the Knights 6-0. Second minutes of the elimination semi-final, and Cronulla Sutherland 6-0 up on Newcastle. Ritson it is with the ball. Try coming just in front of the break. With Rogers scoring and converting. Now it's Samet and Lee, met by Tracy. There again. Danny Lee to the fore, 14 tackles, leads the tackles. That was his 6th hit up in the game. Raper gets in a kick. Bounce of the ball, bounce of the ball. Chance for Cronulla. Green celebrates a big week. Celebrates the Rothmans win. Scores a try, as he did last Sunday against Manly.
And great to see Aaron Raper involved. He spilled a kick last week, a similar one to this. But the bounce was a beauty for the Cronulla side. Robbie Ross was a long way away on the other side of the field. Herman couldn't tackle Green, who dives over in spectacular fashion to get their second try. Just about as many minutes.
Well, they got their first try within 6 tackles. Here they are with another one. A great set of 6, moving 70 metres down the park to put themselves in great field position. And a deft kick there from Raper. And this is what the rugby league ball can do. And Paul Green looking for an opportunity, and there it came. And sprints for the corner. Too much speed for Herman.
Very good kick from Aaron Raper, finding open spaces. Robbie Ross was over towards the posts. Tony Herman, the first man back there, got a horror bounce.
21 metres out on the touchline, coming around but not quickly enough. So no addition to the scoreboard. Cronulla 10, Newcastle 0, 25 minutes gone. Thank you for rejoining us at the Sydney Football Stadium. Nine's exclusive coverage of the 1995 Winfield Cup Finals. Cronulla 10, 2 tries. They came in the space of 4 minutes. They lead 10-0 over Newcastle, in trouble. Steve Roach, give us a report on the injuries as best you can.
Yeah, Craig Greenhill has a badly corked thigh. I don't think there's any chance of him coming back. Jamie Ainscough, still some problems with that shoulder. He's had a needle. They're just going to see how he goes.
Well, he's with the football now.
Yeah, it's important now for Newcastle. They're not a very good side coming from behind. We've talked about how free-flowing they can be in front. They're not the sort of side to graft out when they are behind. The priority for any football team down 10-0 at this time is to say, OK, we can't change that, but it's very important the opposition don't score again. We can chase 10, we can't chase 16 or 20. So your defence becomes your priority, even though you're 10 points behind. They've got to give themselves a chance of getting back in the game. This is the sort of football they don't need, trying to score the 10 points in one play.
Here's Ritson now, aiming to hurt them. Made to pay for their mistakes, Newcastle. And now here's Danny Lee. Easily their most experienced forward. Healy with a pirouette and back 22 out now from Newcastle's line. Green sensing that they can be the next team to score and make it almost impossible for Newcastle. Penalty goes to Cronulla. So they'll take the kick at goal from right in front.
They're starting to fall apart for Newcastle now, late in the tackle count. Penalty given away. Bill McCormack was probably the man to blame, even though I'm not quite sure whether he was the man penalised. If Jamie Ainsco's got a shoulder problem, he's also picked up a leg problem out there as well. He's limping about. He's in all sorts of trouble, Ainsco.
Now, Matt Rogers is also injured, and Mitch Healy has got the job of taking the penalty. Apparently he's feeling unsteady on his feet, Matt Rogers. Jeff Bell is 16, getting ready. Question being asked of Matt Rogers by the trainer. Can you continue? Apparently he's quite wobbly on his feet. A couple of those legends might have been wobbling on their feet this morning too. They take a big drink after that. Now Healy from just 12 metres out, right in front, and no problems. And it's only 2 points, but it adds to the Newcastle problems. 12-0 after 29 minutes now. Well, welcome back to the football stadium. Luck may have changed here for Newcastle. Andrew Johns is with the football, 10 metres out from the Cronulla line, and they're on only their second tackle after a Cronulla mistake. Matthew Johns across the park. Adam Muir breaks into a hole, gets it back for Matthew. He tries to get it away, but thinks better of it and plays it 10 metres out. McCormack sweeps it across for Andrew Johns, and he is taken by the Cronulla defence. They let him go, and he's away, gets the pass on. Ainscough puts it down into the arms of Harrigan. Back it comes, picked up by Andrew Johns. He puts the kick in. There's a chase by Robbie O'Davis, but Cronulla wins the race.
Exciting play there from the Knights. Looked like they might have got their first try for the afternoon after the original mistake by Les Davidson. Took the ball up strongly, but hit hard. Billy Peden on there now for Newcastle. And the ensuing set of tackles is the end result.
Well, that'll be a gentle reminder of Cronulla. Last week they led by 12 points against Manly, and if they've been honest with themselves during the week, they really invited Manly back into the game with their own mistakes. They've just jumped to a 12-point lead. Les Davidson dropped the ball straight away from the kickoff. That may jerk them and just remind them, hey, we can't afford mistakes. We're 12 points in front. We've just got to control the ball and control our field position.
That's Peden taking the ball up now, despite the fact they nearly did score. I still don't think that they're looking that fluent in attack, the Newcastle side. A little bit disjointed. John's brothers not finding the support where and when they want it. That kind of defence isn't helping them.
Tracy now. Go over to the left, and this is Harrigan. Harrigan trying to run straight over the top of the Cronulla defenders. Back now, long pass for Andrew. He finds Matthew. A second man play, and then across the face of another. Grogan throws the pass desperately. Marquette has it for Newcastle. This is the last tackle. Matthew Johns puts it in the air. Ainscough, it's been touched in flight, and Rogers puts it down. Muir, he scores! Adam Muir scores! The ball was touched in flight.
Well, a complete mix-up there from the Cronulla catchers. Made it a pretty easy task for Muir. He scored under the post, that's important. Matthew Johns getting the kick away. Chases onside. The Cronulla play ball, it popped loose. Muir picks up what is a gift of a try at an important time in the match.
Well, the ball was actually touched by Cronulla. Eddie Ward said 6 more will play on for everyone. That's why the Newcastle players are deemed to be onside. And how dangerous a weapon is it, the high kick, especially in semi-final time.
12 metres out, right in front. Newcastle comes back.
It's actually kicked directly to them over in the far corner, and they've got no other choice. Coming in like that, there was only disaster could happen for them. He had to be out on the edges there, waiting to see what happened with that kick and leave it to his fullback.
And here's this man again, Adam Muir, and he has really been so dominant for the Newcastle forward pack today.
What about the spring in the step now of Newcastle?
Ainsko comes in, turns on the accelerator, but the pass goes astray. It was helped by Cronulla. 6 more tackles for Newcastle. Matthew Johns, now Harrigan. Around the bootlaces, Aaron Raper. Robbie Ross, Matthew Johns, Andrew. A dummy from Marquette, or a decoy run. This is Tracy, centre of the ground, 30-metre line behind them. Muir to the 20 metres. Nicow and Raper make the tackle. This would be the second tackle. Andrew Johns stepping up to the line. He's able to beat one. Flicks in for Muir. Muir lets McCormack go. Billy Peden is pulled down.
Numbers to the left.
3 metres out from the line. And they come to the right. Grogan puts a stabbing kick in. And again it's taken dead by Cronulla. Herman went very close.
Well, I still think they came the wrong way. As Peter said, they had an overlap on the left-hand side. Cronulla had plenty of troops on this side. In the end, Grogan, a nice snappy little kick near the in-goal. Good covering by Bateman.
Nathan Long on in 17th for Cronulla. Les Davidson has left the field. They're under siege now. 4.5 minutes to go to the break. Mitch Healy restarting from under his posts.
Healy's drop kick has got plenty of quality about it. Ross tackled on the first, on the 30-metre line. As Peden takes it to the 20-metre. Now, Harrigan running one out. The only support is the dummy half. This is Andrew Johns across now for Marquette. Marquette pulled down. 18 metres out from the line. Now into the centre. Matthew Johns, Robbie McCormack, able to stand, knocked down, I think, by Cronulla. No, Eddie Ward, yes, he has. He's restarted it now. He got a call from the touch judge. Ross put down on the first. 18 out from Cronulla's line. McCormack, up the centre, Andrew Johns. Slammed down by Ettinghausen. To the left, and then back to the centre. Matthew Johns. Now, Tracy. This is Peden. But though they've been given 6 more by Eddie Ward, it's been fairly sloppy. Now they come wider. Matthew Johns, it was a clubbing tackle by Green. Green has hurt himself. Grogan's path was forward. But he allowed play to go, and Andrew Johns is tackled. 2 metres out from the line. Now it's from Ross. He kicks it across. Tracy, Harrigan, he's pulled down. Magnificent defence.
That's great defence by the Sharks. They had 3 great opportunities there to score, and desperation defence has kept them out. Harrigan, how close did he get?
Tremendous tackle just previous to that as well by Nathan Long. Samet coming up with an important tackle there. What about Robbie Ross? Didn't have time to, or couldn't get his hands free to pass the football, so he kicked it across. It was brilliant play.
I've got to say that is the second time in this game. Newcastle looked very dangerous out wide on the left, and Paul Harrigan, a front rower, has presented himself in the back line. I know he's a very damaging runner, but you'd like the ball in a more skillful pair of hands. Nothing against Paul Harrigan. You want your speed men out on the edges there in attacking situations.
2.25 minutes on the clock, and Aaron Raper taken from behind. Away from Green into Healy, and now for Nicow. Right on the halfway line, centre of the ground. 5th tackle, 12-6 Cronulla. 38 minutes coming up on the clock. It came off the chest, I fancy, and that's the way Ward has ruled. No hands, no arms involved. And Ross works with Ainsko. They put together their customary play down the narrow channel there. O'Davis involved. They come across the field for Andrew Johns. Over the 40, Grogan does the juggling. Did well, really, under the tackle of Bateman.
You notice these two Johns boys do throw the ball well out in front of their teammates, asking them to run onto it. It is a great tactic, but it does create the situation where you're catching the ball with defence all around you. Grogan did a terrific job to catch the ball there.
McCormack supports Muir, and then Ross supports McCormack. Then they float the pass. It's with Billy Peden. He puts the fend on. They got the numbers. Peden pulled down 12 metres out from the line. Here's O'Davis. He rolls it in, but Rogers turns defence into attack, and then a stunning tackle.
Oh, waste of an opportunity there as O'Davis went for the corner shot. Had a long line set out to the right. It was only about the third or fourth tackle.
This is Ryan. And they're 5 metres from the halfway line. Green lets Whitson go. He finds Healy. They've got numbers on the left, and they use them. Barnett, he starts to extend inside for Nicow. Brought down by Marquette. Away for Green. Shows it to Danny Lee. Then he gives it to Danny Lee. And he gets a pass away. Healy on. Green with it. Long outside him. So is Rogers. Rogers infield. Green. Can he get it away? It's a forward pass.
Oh, hasn't there been some great last-ditch defence there by Newcastle. Paul Marquette's having a huge game. He saved a try a minute ago with a flying tackle. In the end, there's a forward pass on the end of this movement. The one back in field from Rogers. So Eddie Ward said.
So the siren in the background. Paul Green and the Cronulla Sharks in front. 12-6 at the break. They've scored 2 tries to 1. Eddie Ward blows time on, and here we go. I wonder which group of supporters will basically drop out in 40 minutes from now. Sean Ryan takes the first tackle of the second half, and Aaron Raper takes the second. Aaron had an outstanding first half. I'm very, very happy to report. He had a very unlucky second half last Sunday. And this is Nathan Long. Was that a high tackle from Muir? It's been allowed to go as they press on towards the 40-metre line, and Healy lands it down. The sun in the eyes of Ross, and Herman has to go across and bring it away off the 10-metre line. Well, Steve Roach, what have you been able to find out at half-time?
Yeah, well, Johnny Lang was pretty happy. He thought Newcastle had all the football in the first half. He'd like to see his side with a little more urgency coming out of trouble. He doesn't think they're getting back quick enough. He said they've got to spread a little bit more in attack. They've been bunched on a number of occasions in that first half. He said, keep doing what you've been doing when you led 12-0. Don't give Newcastle a sniff. You're inviting them back into the game. While for Newcastle, only one replacement there. O'Davis is off with a back injury. He's been replaced by Ashley Gordon. Newcastle's coach Malcolm really wants his team to play the percentages. Stop giving away silly penalties when you've got them pinned on their own line. The forced passes are costing him. Be patient. The game's got another 40 minutes to go.
All right, Stephen, as Matthew Johns puts it down into the corner, and Barnett with his left ankle heavily taped now. Ward is going to penalise the Newcastle players.
Well, you talk about not giving away silly penalties. Here's one here. High tackle and a chance to keep Cronulla in their own 15-metre zone. With a penalty, they're up around the 30 or 40-metre area.
Change for the Sharks as well. Jeff Bell is now out there in jersey 16. Had a great game for them last week. He's taken the spot of Alan Bateman. There's Mitch Healy, another great touch finder.
So Ashley Gordon is on. Robbie O'Davis is off for Newcastle. Alan Bateman is off for Cronulla. In fact, there's Bateman now. And Jeff Bell has gone on. And Adam Ritson makes the mistake. The scrum will go down just outside the Newcastle 30-metre line. Wasn't a good pass to give a big fellow. Crouched down to take it in. So Newcastle now with Johns succumbing under that tackle. And they keep coming to the left towards the member stand side of the Sydney Football Stadium, which is now enveloped in shadow. And Marquette carries the Newcastle cause into Cronulla's area. McCormack runs into a buffeting tackle from Eddinghausen. He's muscled up Andrew Eddinghausen in defence so much in the last couple of years. Now the Johns boys combine. They try to put hands, and that's Darren Tracy, throws it out, and Aaron Raper dives on it for Cronulla.
And that is quite simply poor play. Fifth tackle looking for the kicking option. They decided to run it. In the end, a simple turnover for Cronulla.
But it was stupid play at the end of it, wasn't it, too, from Adam Muir. Shoot the ball back in, swings an arm there, comes up with possession. But on the inside, a Cronulla player could have picked it up very easily and raced the length.
Well, Eddie Ward quite obviously has taken a call from his touch judge here, because Muir went in on the tackle. Watch it. It looked like there might have been a high tackle, but he didn't contact him. And he was allowed to go on for about 10 metres before Ward called the penalty.
Well, I think that's exactly the same situation as we saw Robbie Ross. In the opening minutes of the game, the ball was dragged loose by a defender. And if that was called play on, I can't understand why that one wasn't as well.
Whitson and Green combine before Healy pushes on, and Eddinghausen dummies and then gives it out. And Samet joins the back line to be tackled by Peden. Now Nathan Long goes inside the 20-metre line. Cronulla Sutherland looking to be the next team to score. They lead 12-6 as it comes out for Nickau. Loses his footing on the football stadium surface. 18 out. Newcastle's turn to weather the storm. Green pilots a long pass out to his captain. Eddinghausen beautifully put down by Grogan. Now they're 12 out. They come back to the right for Green to go to the line, and then he opens them up with a beautiful pass, and Jeff Bell scores Cronulla's third try.
Great ball from Paul Green. Held it back, a la Cliffy Lyons, and opened the gap up, and Bell, a very elusive player, was there to capitalise. See, Green realised that there's something on the inside. To be freeze play there, it's an enormous hole. This player actually thinks the pass is going to the other Cronulla support player, but it goes to Jeff Bell, and Herman missed him completely. Great start to the second half.
Yeah, if you look at the Newcastle markers, they just did not work. They were very lazy. Both markers stood there and hardly moved. That left them plenty of room back on the inside. And Paul Green, what a game he's having.
Nicely constructed set of six by Cronulla. They attacked the left on tackle one, came it back to Nickau on the right, and then back to Eddinghausen again on the left. Either side of the field being tested. When that happens, Newcastle forwards are caught in the middle of the field, having done a lot of chasing with no work to show, and there you saw them flat-footed on the line.
So here's Rogers now. And the kick is spot on line. So they've turned the 4 into 6. And they've turned the lead into 18-6. Back at the Sydney Football Stadium, a groan from the crowd. It was a high shot by Harrigan on Ritson. I thought the touch judge from this side would go in, but he didn't even look like moving. Here's the tackle. It strikes Ritson just below the right jawbone. Now Cronulla set to go wide, and it's Healy letting Long go before Eddinghausen finds Bell, and Bell, the second half try scorer, is 25 out from the line.
I wonder if they'll think of the 1 point, even this early in the second half. 13 lead. Would be almost insurmountable, you would think.
Well, Danny Lee plays it, and Raper goes to the blind side, puts in a little kick for himself, and the winger, and it beats them over that dead ball line.
Ray, I really think Jamie Ainsco's got to start having to have a look what's in front of him. His opposing centre, Andrew Eddinghausen, is spending a lot of time on the other side of the field, and they're threatening with numbers over there. Ainsco marking up on Eddinghausen's over here on the left-hand side of the field, marking no one. I think he's got to help his defence line out and be prepared to take a chance and follow Eddinghausen across field.
Marquette now plays it. McCormack serves it up, and this man is Muir. And he really has tried hard today. Grogan. 4 or 5 metres into Cronulla's area. Newcastle. Time is still there. They can get back. They're down 12 points. But here is Ainsko working with Gordon. And Gordon is pulled down 32 metres away from the Sharks line. They go over for Matthew Johns and Andrew to combine. And now coming back in is Marquette. Or it's Peden, in fact. Harrigan has left the field. On the last tackle, Matthew Johns goes to the air. And they all appear onside. It comes down with Newcastle. And he's given 6 more tackles. A chance for the Knights. They go for one to the blind side for Butterfield. 5 metres out. All of the ground to work in. Players falling on the ground to get out of the road. Matthew Johns around the back for Darren Tracy. And this is Grogan. Grogan gets it on for Herman. Herman, an evasive run, gets it away. It's now with Matthew Johns, and he's inside the 20-metre line. That's where he's pulled down. Centre of the ground. McCormack runs from dummy half, and then Muir goes for his second, and he gets it. Muir scores his second try.
Oh, what a great effort by Muir. He's been Newcastle's best player, no doubt about it.
A yawning gap up the middle there, and the dummy half took full advantage of it. As we freeze play there, you can see the markers have split, and that opens the hole up the middle. That's the first thing a marker must not do, is to go the other side before the ball is left. Very, very poor play there from the second marker. Muir had a bit to do, but he's a strong back rower. Robbie McCormack, he draws the one marker. Danny Lee.
Oh, he had a bit to do, all right. The determination of Adam Muir. It's just brilliant stuff from him. He's left one behind, and now he's got the long reach-a-rooney in front of him and plants it.
It's very important, that reach-a-rooney. 12 metres out now. From almost in front for Andrew John. There it goes. Flags in the air. Newcastle 6 behind. 15 to go. From full-time, full good. Here's a break, half break anyway by Peden. Now Johns. His brother, Ainsko. 31 metres out from the Cronulla line. Gordon, Matthew John, Andrew holds it back. Muir in again. Put down 30 metres out from Cronulla's line. Newcastle have been playing catch-ups. Can they draw level? 25 out centre of the ground. McCormack, Andrew Johns. Kicks out Marquette. They've gone to Ainsko. Ainsko kicks. Rolling ball. Samet equal to it.
A great set of 6 there by Newcastle, going almost the length of the field. Just wondering if anything, the Cronulla players, what's going through their minds? Are they starting to think, here we go again, letting the Knights back into the match, as they did with Manly last week?
Putting a lot of pressure over on Rogers' side of the field here. I thought that previous try there from Newcastle started when Matt Rogers came off his wing again and completed for a bomb that he didn't necessarily have to go for. And the try itself, Adam Muir is causing this side a lot of problems with his one-arm ball carries. He's one of those very talented players that can hold it very outstretched in his arm and still have full control of it, as you saw when he planted the ball down.
This is a charge down. No knock on. They've come back with the ball.
And that's good work by Grogan, just to get the ball and actually go to ground with it. Now they get a penalty. If he had tried to maybe do something with the football, maybe sprint away, there's every chance he could have dropped it. But just to go to ground was nice work by him. And once again, a charge down. I don't value the charge down very highly. On this occasion, they've had some luck with it, Newcastle.
So the tap. 25 out. They come straight across the ground with 3 passes. And they reach the centre with Peden. Harrigan is back on. He wants it. Harrigan ran straight at Nathan Long. McCormack. Andrew Johns. Decoys. Players in motion. Muir. Back and away for Matthew Johns. A fend on Green. Back for Ross. Ross. Ross stands, finds Grogan on the 20-metre line. They're losing ground, though, in possession. Played by Grogan. Herman now for Muir. Muir lines them up again. Gives it away for Ross. Ross away for Johns, and Andrew stands away from a tackle. Pulled down 8 metres out. McCormack gets the call on the left, the run around, and now for Harrigan. And Harrigan is held 10 metres out. Oh, that'll be a penalty. It is. It called on him to play the ball.
It's a shame the end of that passage resulted in a penalty, because it was great rugby league from both sides.
So Cronulla now. Robbie Kearns, tackled by Marquette. Underneath the tackle of Harrigan. And Ritson to the halfway line for Green. And gain in that last tackle as Nickau strides out. Muir takes him around the legs.
There's Davidson back on. Nathan Long has left the field. There's Davo now dropping the shoulder.
18-12. Cronulla leading in this first elimination semi-final. And Paul Green playing it now 33 metres out from the Newcastle line. They go to the air off Aaron Raper's boot, and Ross has had a superb game, Robbie Ross, and one of the Cronulla players I think might have come out of that injured.
Yeah, Mitch Healy took an accidental boot there. Ross getting his foot up very high and collecting Mitch Healy. Actually the 5'8" is okay as Ashley Gordon and sideways. You see here the boot takes Healy. It's been quite nasty.
Fairly negative set of 6 from Cronulla there, I thought. Falling back into the trap of trying to protect the 6-point lead. As we said many times during the call, they've been in this position leading before, but they've got to remain positive. They've got to be looking to stretch Newcastle's defence around.
Newcastle went 3 sets of hands to find the kicker, and Samet is going to be tackled in good field position for Cronulla. They've got it on the first tackle to the halfway line. And this is Barnett. Eddinghausen a dummy half.
Great. His experience has got to come to the fore here. He's got to be talking to them. He knows that they threw it away last week. They're in a position where they're under pressure here after having a 12-point lead. He's the man that they're looking to talk them through this one.
So the drop goal attempt by Healy is wide. And so it'll come back to the 20-metre point for the tap to restart.
It's poor sign for Cronulla. Not that they went for the field goal, the fact they only made 15 metres in that set of 6 before having to kick on tackle 5. One out running. Eddinghausen into dummy half. Aaron Raper took a long time to come back. No support for the ball carrier. They won't want to protect this lead, or Newcastle will get them. They've got to keep keeping Newcastle under pressure in defence.
Harrigan now. About 8 metres short of halfway. There's 14 minutes on the clock. And Newcastle trailing by 6, and there's the break. It's Muir again making the break. Beautiful pass by Johns. 35 metres out from the Cronulla line. They're struggling to get the straight line together. It's come over for Ainsko. He beats the tackle, gets it inside. That is Tracy. Now, this is Gordon. Ashley Gordon put on the hurdy-gurdy and put down.
A big line here on the last. They'll run it.
McCormack on through Matthew John. Andrew kicks. Robbie Ross is after it, but Cronulla, they didn't force it. It's a try. It's a try for Newcastle.
Andrew Eddinghausen has made the mistake. Tried to pick it up, and Robbie Ross, the fullback, has scored the try. 14 minutes to go. A kick to come. We could be locked up here. I talked about Andrew Eddinghausen talking them through this game, but he just had to dive on this. He tried to do too much.
That's a great chasing there by Robbie Ross. The Johns boys, they're playing well. They're really coming into their own now. There was a mile of space on the right. This is beautiful play. E.T., an experienced player like him, should have just dived on this football. But there's the mistake, and Robbie Ross, persistence personified, has paid off.
You can put that try down to the 2 poor sets of 6 by Cronulla earlier. At the moment, and like I said before, there is only one side attacking. Cronulla put their cue in the rack, wanted to protect the lead, come up with 2 negative sets of 6. Newcastle get a breather without much defence to do, and then able to run it 3 times in the one set, come up with a good chase on the kick. Cronulla invited Newcastle back into the game by not being competitive when they had the ball. Now they find themselves in a situation where they probably have to score again to win, and they've got to get themselves out of the walking mentality they've had themselves in.
About that, Rabbi, persistence personified. Beautiful stuff.
Well, I don't know whether this is the side, Cronulla, whether they can shut down and protect the lead. Every time they do that, they seem to become introverted to the point that they're not the same side. They're better as a free runner. So here's Andrew Johns. He's going to make it level. Yes! 18 points all. Cronulla and Newcastle. "68 minutes of the match is gone. 18 points all. Newcastle have come from 18-6 to level.
And this is a crucial set of 6 here. The momentum is now their way. Very important to get a good set of 6 after you've scored points. Adam Muir tackled centre field. 2 tackles left, so they're going to kick in pretty good position. Doing a good job.
This fullback today for Newcastle. I know Adam Muir has been absolutely outstanding. But Robbie Ross, the fullback, has had a superb game. The bounce, almost favoured Newcastle. Matt Rogers is with it.
Yeah, great chase by Ainscough, who kept himself onside to put some pressure on the Cronulla defenders. And then lucky to get out of it, Matt Rogers. Ainscough missed the tackle.
Inside the 11th minute now. Outside the 30-metre line, Barnett. Adam Ritson. Notice Greenhill stretching down on the sidelines. He left the field injured with a bad cork. They're thinking of bringing him back on.
That was tremendous work there from Tony Herman. He saved his side probably 15 or 20 metres. Didn't catch the ball on the full as he gets out of dummy half, but he didn't let it go over his head and roll away. All of a sudden, 2 tackles gone. They're already 33 metres out from their own line.
Now Tracy. They don't come any tighter, blocker.
Yeah, sensational game, Maz. I have to agree with Gus. They've gone to sleep, the Cronulla side. They're shut up shop. A lot of running from dummy half. Haven't got a good kick away. Their chase hasn't been that good neither.
They're on the halfway line, the Novocastrians. They come wide and they go to their captain, and Harrigan has to hold the tackler at bay without passing out the back. Opted against that. The last is with them now, and Andrew Johns. He puts a kick deep. Ainscough is after it. The bounce goes to the left. And Rogers wrapped up by Ainscough.
Well, Andrew Eddinghausen has been the best chaser on kicks in the competition this year. But Jamie Ainscough is fast closing that gap. They're kicking deliberately for Ainscough. He's staying onside, as Paul pointed out, and getting through very quickly.
So we're told now from the statisticians that Newcastle have used all 6 interchanges. Cronulla have got 1 left.
He just learned a little lesson too, Jamie Ainscough, on the previous kick. He allowed Matt Rogers just to fall on the ball and didn't attack him. That time when Rogers fell on the ball, he hammered him even though he even hadn't got up from the ground. You can't let them off lightly.
Cronulla, talking of interchanges, are about to use their last. And that'll be Greenhill coming back into the match. Robbie Ross, Tony Herman. Right on the halfway line, Ritson is off.
Both sides falling into the trap now. The only person moving is the person with the ball. Both defences tired, both attacking sides very tired, and they're tending to have a break when they have the ball, just trying to work out who's going to take up the advantage and break the deadlock. You've got to push yourself. If you're tired, you've got to understand they're tired too.
Now, Muir. Muir
Just wondering if the Johns boys are thinking field goal. It's a long range, so they need to get another 10 or 15 metres down the park.
Andrew Johns it is who's brought down now on the fifth tackle, 25 out. They got to slow play the ball. They're going to go for it. Well, they had to rush it. Oh, Danny Lee. Danny Lee is knocked on.
Well, that's the next best thing if you're a Newcastle supporter. Oh, no luck for Danny Lee there. He's had an outstanding game. And this one's come to him 100 miles an hour. A fluffed kick. And there he looks up and sees the ball travelling right at his melon.
So another opportunity for Newcastle. We haven't seen the lead. Are they about to grab it? Played by Matthew Johns. Now this is Peden. Tackled on the 10-metre line by Nickau. Grogan, McCormack, Harrigan. No runners.
They can't think field goal here. They've got to try and score the try and then take the field goal as the option if they don't get the 4 points.
Here's Andrew Johns. He got away from a defender that came up quickly. It was Greenhill. Andrew Johns across, links up with Grogan. Grogan's to the 10-metre line, gets a pass in. Peden picks it up, and then the defence picks him up. Herman. There's the 10-metre line in front of them. Now, Newer. There's that one-handed ball carry. It's created so much problem for Cronulla. The last, they're going for it. There goes the shot. It looks okay. The hand will go up. It does. Newcastle, they're in front.
Matty Johns getting deep behind the play of the ball. That's the beauty of having options. People were looking for Andrew Johns. It went back to Matthew. He struck it beautifully. Some good pressure coming through, but he was very deep and hit it sweetly.
And Newcastle storming back into the match. Saw Johnny Lang going for a drink there.
Got to get to his feet. They can't have 12 in the defence.
Davidson picked off by Peden. Big tackle. 12 metres out. The blind side. They're outnumbered there. Green. Barnett has to come back into the centre.
Tony Herman hasn't moved.
So, Raper across for Healy. Nickau taken by the Johns brothers. 11 metres out. Here's Samet. 3 metres from the line.
They've got numbers to the left.
He kicks Healy. It's going over the dead ball line. And the numbers on the left, they went up like a chorus.
Well, look, for a semi-final, a crunch game, which it is, that's a very ordinary play there from Cronulla. They had a mile of players out on the left-hand side. They just didn't use it. Here's Herman. He was knocked out as soon as he hit the defensive line there. Still, he's down in play.
I know it's a very callous thing to say that players have got to get to their feet, especially when it is so obvious that he has been injured. But really, you've just got to get up and put your body there.
Well, they've used all 6 replacements. I'll be hoping he's got some blood on him somewhere.
Yeah, well. Raper got him with the forearm right across the mouth. Harrigan. 40 metres out from his own line. Herman stays on the paddock. This is Marquette. Neither of them now can make a change. They've both used their interchanges. The only thing they can do is use the blood bin. Now, Ross. 1 point. Newcastle in front. Sudden death football. And at this stage, it looks like it might be Cronulla that is going to make the exit. Andrew Johns puts a kick in. Samet comes back.
They can't afford to give away a penalty. They've got good field position. They have to play at this end of the field for as long as they can. No penalties is the order of the day for the Knights. They can't give him another set of 6 at the other end. Here's Danny Lee winding up.
The other thing is, if Cronulla get a chance, do they go for the 19-all draw? Look for extra time.
Green menacing the defence, but looking for runners. He can't find them, and Eddinghausen's pass finds Newcastle's Marquette on the halfway.
The pressure of being behind on the scoreboard. It tells, especially in these big games, Newcastle They've got to keep stretching Cronulla. They don't want them just resting while Newcastle's got the ball. You've got to put them on both sides of the field. Have their attacking players coming up with tackles. You don't want the likes of Eddinghausen and Barnett simply sitting back and having a rest for a minute so they can come back at you. You've got to stretch them around a little bit, even though there's only moments remaining.
So Gordon plays it in the centre of the park. And Newcastle now.
Look for the in-goal here.
With Andrew Johns, he kicks, H goes after it. The bounce, the bounce! Matt Rogers got the bounce. Ainsko was storming down on him. Oh, was there a marker? Referee said no, play on.
That's all he's got to worry about.
2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Newcastle by 1. Was that knocked down by Newcastle? No, says the referee. He signified the last tackle. Pass was forward from Green, picked up by Grogan. Grogan passes, Barnett comes up with it, and Cronulla, they get another opportunity. Danny Lee.
I can't believe that.
Poor decision there by Eddie Ward. That ball went a mile forward on tackle 5. It's an immediate turnover as soon as the infringement's on.
Now, Kearns.
They've got to work for the 1 point, you would think.
Raper. 30-metre line, just in front of them.
Mitch Healy's the man.
I can see a trainer just went out in the park and gave a message to ET and to Paul Green.
Lee plays the ball. Here comes the shot. He can't get it in. Green goes across for Samet. Samet goes for it. How close is it? Just off. Just away to the right. So the 20-metre tap to restart.
Oh, frantic stuff. Ben Samet ended up with the football. He hit it pretty nicely. Have a look how close this is.
What? Oh, turn it up. That's incredible. That was a field goal from the moment it left his boot. And it's just faded away.
45 seconds.
Now Gordon. We want to be careful, Newcastle. Ashley Gordon almost gave them a voluntary tackle. That would give them a penalty and a shot at goal. Ainsko. Oh, he just kept his feet inside. He was walking the tightrope. He has stopped the clock. Blows time on now. Well, Eddie Ward is going to move the play the ball.
Well within his rights.
Tracy. 40 metres out. 12 seconds on the clock. Newcastle slowing it down. And Eddie Ward, I think he might have said, if you don't play it, I'll put you in the sin bin. They put it over the sideline. That will soak up time. And Newcastle have won. 19 points to 18. Well, Cronulla Sutherland have done it again. They led Manly by what seemed an unassailable lead. And now they've done the same with the Knights. And Newcastle has won.